It is January at a cattle ranch in the heart of the high Venezuelan Orinoco Plains, known locally as the High Llanos. By chance, it is located in the very center of the country. What we are about to see is tradition still practiced in this technological age. Milking by hand, a practice which has not changed much since the first conquistadors came to the new continent. The milkman, Eleuterio, has carried out this chore ever since he was old enough to do so. And although anyone with some skills and training can milk a cow, he has the charm of the traditional milking songs. His ability to improvise rhythmic verses, mixing old and new phrases, his tune and artistic ability represents the most genuine expression of the Venezuelan plains. Each cow has a name, and he calls the individual calves by its mother's name for it to enter the corral. He ties the cow's back legs, and after leaving the calf to suckle for a short time to stimulate the mother, Eleuterio ties it to one of her legs in the position of suckling and starts to milk, always singing the songs that perhaps these cows have been listening to for more than a decade. It is hard to discern if the cow thinks the calf is suckling or simply that they like to be milked and sung to by Eleuterio. Finally, Eleuterio sets them free with one hand, leaving the calf to suckle what it needs for growing. Every day, the ceremony of making the queso llanero, a hard, white, salty cheese, takes place. During an ample, typical llanero breakfast, we prepare for yet another experience. The plains, or Llanos, comprise almost 40% of Venezuelan territory, over 100,000 square miles in the middle of the country, mostly north of the Orinoco River. During the rainy season, from May to October, the Llanos are a wetland with the appearance of a vast sea emptying its waters into the great river. On the contrary, during the dry season, from December to April, the Llanos are transformed into golden prairies. Streams and small rivers dry up or form channels that in turn may also dry up or perhaps survive as ponds until the next rains. In these channels and small ponds, the fauna find shelter and food. We will share with you the exhilarating experience of observing these places. It is an amazing spectacle. A group of Huatzin defend a mother and her chicks in her nest. We see a snail kite on a nest in a palm tree. In the distance, we can hear the rumble of howler monkeys. A purple gallinule picks up straw for its nest. There's a pair of yellow-crowned night herons guarding their nest full of chicks. Dead palm trees are an excellent place for larger birds, such as the maguari stork, to nest. Upon sighting us, the female displays by clicking her beak. on. A pygmy kingfisher is perched, the smallest of the family of kingfishers. We're lucky to have a rare sight of the shy boat-billed heron among the vegetation. A juvenile jacana continues picking insects on the floating meadows once he realizes that we pose no danger. A pair of lesser kiskadees sing their beautiful duet. On another palm tree, we find a maguari stork chick still in the nest. Although he has reached the right size for flying, he still needs some more weeks of training before he can fend for himself. We leave the boat to look for some forest and savanna animals. A puffbird watches us with curiosity. A couple of kiskadees, with a helper from a previous brood, are in the process of building a nest. An iguana watches us with caution. Deeper in the forest, we meet a black eagle mother and chick on a limb. The brilliant vermilion flycatcher in the shade of a tree, a very territorial bird. In the neighborhood, a couple of plain-fronted thornbirds are busy building and remodeling their gigantic nest that can reach 3 feet high. An unexpected encounter, the giant anteater comes back from its nightly raid in search of ants and termites. The ranch boasts an inn built in the typical style of the Llanos. Thick clay walls and tiled roof protect the building from the heat of the lowlands. All the materials, including logs and wood, are taken from the local area. Its manager is Sorelia Franco, who provides those special touches to make your stay pleasant and unforgettable. Ample saloons and comfortable rooms can lodge a dozen guests. There's even a swimming pool for relaxing. An international restaurant and local cuisine, including the traditional barbecue on sticks, similar to a shish kebab. Some interesting handicrafts are made in La Fay and are for sale at a small shop. A few miles to the south lies the town of Camagüey. There we can watch the process of making cassava. The yucca root is peeled, ground to a powder, and dried out. With this powder, a sort of giant pancakes are prepared. This is the bread of numerous Indian and Criollo communities in many South American areas. From Camagüey, we take a boat on the Portuguesa River up to the confluence with the Guanare River, a great place to observe river dolphins, which are very abundant along the Orinoco Basin. The local inhabitants take advantage of the dry season by planting vegetables on the riverbanks. We finally arrive at La Unión. This time the river was not low enough, and the dolphins barely let us see them lazily surfacing from time to time. The afternoon is a good time for a leisurely horseback ride to explore the surrounding savannas and bush. We find some adorable burrowing owls on the savanna. They live in families, digging holes or rebuilding the caves of other animals such as armadillos. On a balsam tree, a couple of howler monkeys do what they like best, eating leaves, the main source of food in their vegetarian diet. In the top of a mango tree, a couple of porcupines. They eat the seeds of green mango fruit. On our way back from the ride, we saw a couple of aplomado falcons nesting in a tree. Pedro told us they had started some weeks earlier. We thought the eggs might have hatched and decided to put a camera on a long stick to see. We were right. 3 newborn chicks were in the nest. Suddenly, we heard a faint call from the grass behind us. One of the chicks had fallen down from the nest. We decide to give him a second chance, although we know that these birds lay several eggs to assure the brood, but raise only one chick, the strongest, a strategy developed by many species. Task finished. The Orinoco River is the 3rd largest river in the world in terms of water volume. The Orinoco Basin is made up of some 6,000 streams and rivers. One of its most feared inhabitants is the piranha, and although only a few species are dangerous, myths have been woven around these small creatures due to their ferocity when feeding. For this reason, a simple small piece of meat on a fishing hook can immediately find a client. The fishing is so easy that it's very attractive to tourists. Its meat is quite acceptable as well. Night is always interesting for exploring, since many different species come on stage due to survival adaptations and feeding strategies. This Hoatzin simply woke up because of the light beam. The barn owl is ready to pounce. The Patu is in the same business. They catch insects on the wing. The fox goes after rats and lizards. On the ground, the nightjar is very common. A crested caracara is still working on a carcass found during the day. A lesser anteater searches for ants and termites in the middle of the night. During the day, he sleeps on tree limbs. A rabbit grazes in a nearby grassland.
Rezaba un credo y salía, llegaba al acto temprano, que costumbre repetía, daba comienzo al ordeño, antes de rayar el día, luego cruzaba sediento, por el llano y me perdía, era mi potro y mi copla, mi única compañía, por la noche en mi cobija, sobre el suelo la extendía, para dormir varios ratos con el sueño me vencía.
What we see here is the same round of jobs and chores handed down from generation to generation since colonial times, repeated twice a year at the beginning of each season. We are in the Hato Masaguaral, adjacent to La Fe, where cattle farming and conservation have coexisted for more than 5 decades, since its owner decided to devote himself to caring for nature and wildlife. More than 2 decades ago, a project was started to raise the Orinoco crocodile in captivity, subsequently releasing them in streams and navigable rivers, thus giving this threatened species a chance to avoid extinction. Year after year, some 100 individuals are farmed and maintained safely up to 1 year of age and then set free in secret places along the Orinoco Basin. Research has given early reports that the populations are recovering and are in good health. A visit with Pedro, our guide, lets us discover the wealth and rich fauna of these areas. The lagoons and ponds are beginning to dry out, and the waterfowl do what they do best, feeding on fishes trapped in the mud. Hunting was banned half a century ago. This has given the whistling ducks, by the thousands, a chance to find their home here. From the edge of a woodland, we watch the elegant flight of the wood stork. A young black-collared hawk perched on a limb. A red-crowned woodpecker inspects its chicks in the nest. In the riparian forest, a rufous-tailed jacamar captures a dragonfly for its brood. On another tree, a troupial, the Venezuelan national bird, is preening. A lesser anteater sleeps on a limb, probably the same one we saw on one of the previous nights. If we are able to stay quietly for some hours, bearing the heat and some mosquitoes, we can be rewarded with some interesting species to watch. A gray-necked woodrail takes a spectacular shower late in the afternoon. A young white-tailed deer walks to the pond to drink. An agouti drinks quietly on the edge, but always on the alert due to the chance that some feline might be in the neighborhood.
All I could say will not be enough. You have to live the experience by yourself. You can be in contact with birds and other animals in its natural environment, and they don't care about you because they don't fear men. The inn is great, the food excellent, and the people very helpful.
I think this is an excellent opportunity to be in close contact with nature. I enjoy a lot fishing piranhas at the channel with Pedro. We can have here excellent food, bird watching, horse riding. So I think this is the best way to savor the lifestyle in the Venezuelan plains field.
There could be no better way to conclude our Llanos adventure than with a typical party featuring national folkloric instruments and amateur singers.
Yo todo el tiempo madrugo porque es costumbre que hoy de amanecer en mi región, amasando la novilla en mitad de un botalón y viendo como que el pelo sale de entre el altegón. Y el queso dentro del quincho, y el queso dentro del quincho causa gran admiración. Hermano mío, cuando miren a la gente y que lo van a